calculate the consumer price index, we first have to come up with a nominal consumer price amount. And I told you how we do that. We have our basket of goods, we get the current prices for those, and the quantities. We multiply that all out, and we have a total amount of goods and services that we spend on today. If we then go back in time and we calculate those nominal basket of goods prices for different years, we have a whole bunch of nominal values. Now, just as we did with the gross domestic product calculations, we do a similar thing with the consumer price index. So what we do is we pick a base year. Let's say we choose 2012 as a base year. We then take the prices from 2012 and apply them to the quantities of goods and services in the basket of goods that we use today. And by doing this, we end up with a real number, the real cost of living in real dollars that's been adjusted for inflation. Now, if we take the nominal value and divide it by the real value, then we can see how much different the difference there was between nominal and real. And that becomes our index. Nominal divided by real. And so using that number, that index number, we can then adjust any nominal value for that year by simply dividing the nominal value by the index and then multiplying it times 100. So let's take a look at how we might do that. So let's take the 2013 number and let's take which is going to be 100 because it's going to be the base year. So that's going to be the nominal value divided by the real value, which of course in this case is the same as the nominal value, and that will be equal to 100. But now we're going to take each of the years after that, say 2014 and 2015, and we're going to adjust those based on the prices from 2013, and those will create real values. And we're then going to use our formula to adjust that and come up with a price index. Let's look at the consumer price index for 2013 and the consumer price index for 2015. Okay, so I went to Fred. I looked up the consumer price index. I set the base year to 2012, and here's what I learned. I learned that, of course, the base year would be 100 as an index because, as I said, it's simply the consumer price value of that year divided by itself. In 2013, the consumer price index was 101.5. Now, what's interesting about that is because we know that the base year is 100, this is a very easy one to calculate. We simply find the difference between those two, which of course is 1.5, and we divide it by 100, and then multiply it times 100. So in other words, 1.5%. That's the inflation rate between those 2 years. 2014, the CPI was 103.1, 2015, 103.2, and skipping ahead to 2019, it was 111.4. So just as we did with the GDP deflator, we simply take the year number one, which would be the later year, so let's say 2019, and we subtract from it the year that we're trying to calculate from. The trick here is when you're not dealing with the base year. So if I want to know the difference between 2015 and 2019, it's a little more complicated, but it's exactly the same formula. So in that case, it's going to be 111.4 minus 103.2. So this gives us a difference of 8.2. Now, we're not going to divide that by 100 and multiply it times 100. Instead, we're going to divide it by the 2015 year, which is 103.2. So when we divide it by 103.2, we get a number, and then we multiply that number times 100, and that gives us our inflation rate So I hope this is useful to you, and look forward in your career to using the Consumer Price Index for a variety of things that will be very helpful to you.